On the show, in Wheelspin, we drive the upgraded BMW 5 Series. And in Face to Face, Narain Karthikeyan talks about the Indian GP. And we meet Nico Rosberg as he races with his fans. On the road, we drive the Fiat Linea to Bharatpur. BMW first launched the 5 Series in 1972, and till date it has sold over 6.6 million units globally. It made its appearance in India in 2010 in its 5th generation avatar and positioned itself as a premium sedan meant mostly for the corporates as well as the well-heeled. And not surprisingly, the 5 Series had done exceedingly well and become the favorite car of many a luxury car buyer. But as we had pointed out when we had last reviewed the car, that it was beginning to look a bit dated, especially in the face of competition like Mercedes-Benz, who had launched their new E-Class, the main rival of the BMW 5 Series. It seemed as if the BMW guys were listening, because a few months later in October this year, BMW launched this new 5 Series. But mind you, this is not a generational change, but only an upgrade to the existing 6th generation BMW 5 Series that is currently being sold. This is what BMW calls the new 5 Series. To someone who is not as interested in cars as I am, it might take some time figuring out the changes. But the fact is that even small changes have added to this car. The 5 Series has been a hugely popular car, and these changes are sure to make it even more attractive. So let's take a look as to what these changes really are. Take a look at the front, and the most noticeable difference you will see is to the trademark kidney-shaped grille. The slats here have matte finish and the bumper too has been redesigned, along with the fog lamp cluster and the air dam. The headlamps now get LED lights as standard fitment. The car now rides on elegantly designed alloy wheels mounted with 18-inch low-profile rubber. In the rear, the tail lamp cluster had been restructured with thin LED strips along with a reshaped rear bumper, with a design line to make it stand out. And if you think this is only it, then you haven't peeped inside yet. It's actually this driving environment which has had the most visible change. The steering wheel has changed in shape and now it's nicely clad in leather, and there are pedal shifts too, which makes it feel really sporty. But what I like most is the head-up display out there. The technology of course comes from fighter planes, where split-second reaction times make the difference between life and death, and this technology is now applied to cars. What it does is shows you the speed as well as the infotainment system and the phone book. So it gives the car a real nice sporty feel. In terms of driving dynamics, it remains the same, but now there has been an addition of a variant. The one which we are driving, the 530D Msport. Yes, sport and with M badging too. Perhaps similar to what Mercedes does with their AMG badging. Add on a few accessories and make the variant appear sporty and desirable. This variant is powered by a 3-liter diesel engine churning out 258 horsepower. But the other variants use the standard 2-liter diesel, except for the 525D, which churns out 218 horsepower, instead of the standard 184 horsepower for the rest. And obviously they cost less than this trim with the M badging and sporty trimline. Power is transferred to the wheel through the standard 8-speed automatic transmission. The most funky part of this new 5 Series is the instrumentation cluster here. The design is new and the needles are virtual, and not only that, this analog meter turns into a digital one the moment you change to the sports mode. And this vindicates my point that digital readouts are very driver friendly and easy to read, especially when you're driving fast. And this is one example of what a sporty car should be. Other changes to the inside includes a larger 10.25-inch TFT display screen for the BMW iDrive system. And even the control knob is new with a chrome surround. The bottle holders have been redesigned and made deeper, and the seats get more bolstering for cornering support. In the rear, passengers get entertainment system with tablet-style displays, a Harman Kardon surround sound system, and a new ambient light which alternates between orange and white tone. Even if it's only the cosmetics that BMW has played around with, it has still improved the car. The BMW 5 Series has always been a popular car and an attractive buy, and with these changes, it will become even more so. But like in every other upgrade, the price too changes, and this 5 Series is no different. The price has gone up marginally by a couple of lakhs, but then if you are ready to shell out 50 lakhs, I don't think a couple of lakhs is going to make any difference to your decision. As their fun fever reaches its peak, Mercedes-AMG Petronas Formula One team driver Nico Rosberg took some time off to meet his fans. At an event hosted by sport lifestyle brand Puma, Nico not only took the podium here to answer questions from his fans, but also declared in Hindi that he is the big daddy of racing.
रिश्ते में तो हम तुम्हारे बाप लगते हैं. So 4 kgs in a race, does that really happen? Losing so much weight in a race?
Depends which race, but like Singapore Grand Prix, I can lose up to 4 kgs. Yeah, it's a lot. You know, it's like 6% of my body weight, and that's really it's very, very tough.
Your dad is a race winner, so Monaco this year was very special. I saw you come up with the thing of the Nico Rosberg style of doing this. You thought of this yourself?
Yep.
Okay, so what does dad have to say, because he's won there and your dad is a great driver himself? What does he have to say about your success in Formula 1 so far?
My father is proud. You know, he's been a part of it all the time. He's been helping me, supporting me, managing me all the way. And it's very enjoyable for him too. And to see me win at our home in Monaco, where I've grown up and where we all still live, all my family and friends, everybody lives there. I went to school there, so to win in my streets and to win the most prestigious Grand Prix in the year was a really, really special experience for me.
How important is karting in racing?
Karting is very, very important.
It is.
It's really a big help. If you
Yeah.
can start in go-karting to practice your skills, develop the skills,
Right.
it's the best way to do it. It's
Right.
not 100% necessary,
Okay.
but it does help a lot.
All right.
You and Hamilton are neighbors in Monaco. Do you spend time with him off track also?
Sometimes, yeah, very seldom, but we just had lunch together at the pool the other day, so sometimes we see each other, yeah. And it's nice to catch up, you know, we get on well, we have a good relationship. Sometimes it gets a bit tense, yeah, and we have a bit of a fight, but then we get on again and no problem, and so it works really well.
In a competition organized by Puma, a nationwide hunt was conducted on Twitter to identify 10 lucky winners who would get to meet Nico, and eventually 2 of them will get to race Nico. Well, not actually, but on a virtual simulator. And fast as Nico might be on the track, but here he had some real competition from 2 of the finalists, and one of them even managed to nick Nico out in the simulator race. We sure hope that Nico will have better luck on the track this Sunday. It's early morning and I've just left Delhi and I'm on this beautiful piece of tarmac called the Yamuna Expressway. The Yamuna Expressway, as you know, connects Delhi and Agra. And before you begin to think that I am on my way to Agra, let me tell you, I am not. I am in fact on my way to Bharatpur. Bharatpur at this time of the year plays host to hundreds of species of migratory birds, and the Koiladeo Ghana National Park is worth a visit. And that's where I am headed for today. I'm at the wheels of what is now a very trusted 2013 Fiat Linea, and in the last few weeks it has taken us to quite a few interesting places. And I have developed a lot of confidence in her ability to transport me both in style and comfort. The Fiat Linea is quite spacious, and the 1.3-litre multi-jet that sleeps under the bonnet actually wakes up when you throttle her on the highway, and she belts out adequate power both for the highway and the cities as well. And what I like most is, of course, the fuel economy. It's really great on the fuel front. And it's quite a pleasure to drive the Linea on a highway like this. I've just arrived in Bharatpur, and this is going to be my first stopover. The Koiladeo National Park, which is basically 7,000 acres or 29 square kilometers of wetland, which plays host to 365 species of migratory birds through the winter. The first of the lot have already started coming in. The season is just beginning, and you can see in the distance the colonies of birds which are settling down for the winter. The Koiladeo National Park is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. At one time, it was the duck hunting reserve of the leisurely Maharajas. But over the years, it became known as the winter home for large number of aquatic birds from Afghanistan, China and Siberia. Some 375 species of birds, including the rare Siberian cranes, have been recorded in this park. This is the only habitat outside of Siberia where the Siberian crane visited and nested. But sadly, over the last few years, the Siberian crane has stopped visiting, and lack of conservation measures are cited for this. The name Koiladeo is derived from the name of an ancient Hindu temple devoted to Lord Shiva in the sanctuary's central zone, while the Hindi term Ghana implies dense or thick areas of forest cover. Inside the park, no motor cars or motorized vehicles are allowed, which is just as well because it is an eco-friendly zone. And the best way to go around is to rent a bicycle, as it creates no pollution and no sound, and it doesn't disturb the birds nesting here. But at times like this, I want something which is chauffeur-driven. And my choice today is this, because I want to sit back, take some pictures and enjoy the ride. Koiladeo is not really a huge park, but the problem with it is that there are a large number of species which come in here, and it's difficult to identify all of them. So what you need is a guide. And I have my trusted friend Ishwar Singh with me, who will tell us about the park today.
3,000-4,000 birds, storks, heron, egret, cormorant, 3,000-4,000 can see. And next month, November, December, January, migratory ducks, geese, crane, eagle. So few years before, lot of rain and lot of water. So thousands of ducks, and this park include in list of World Heritage. Animal, we have sambar deer, wild boar, jackal, reptiles, pythons, and cobra, crate, and lizards.
the flat wetlands here which every monsoon fill up and play host to these unique visitors year after year. The birds fly in here to escape the harsh winters of their homeland, and at times it has been recorded that they fly as much as 10,000 kilometers to make the Chula National Park their home for the winter. The winters of North India are ideal for them, and the water in the park is a source of some healthy food. The birds spend the winter here nesting, and when they leave at the end of the winter, many of them fly back with a family of their own. These young birds who are born here return the following winter to build their own nest, and so continues the cycle of life. The city of Bharatpur is in the state of Rajasthan. Located in the Brij region, Bharatpur was once considered to be an impregnable city and was the capital of the Jat kingdom. The city is situated 55 kilometers west of the city of Agra and 35 kilometers from Mathura. It is also the administrative headquarters of the Bharatpur district, and recently it has become a part of the NCR region. Behind me is the famous Lohagarh fort of Bharatpur, and for centuries, like Loha or iron, it has stood firm and strong against numerous attacks. In fact, the British attacked it 4 times and tried to capture it, and eventually it was Lord Lake who won it for them. And even today, it looks formidable and majestic. Like many forts of that period, the Lohagarh fort is also surrounded by a moat, which was filled with water to ward off the enemy attacks. Sandy battlements strengthened the ramparts, making the enemy guns sound hollow. Some interesting monuments inside the fort are Kishori Mahal and Fateh Burj, which was built by Surajmal to celebrate the victories over the Mughals and the British. The Ashtadhatu gateway is decorated with paintings of huge elephants. I had a rather interesting trip, and if you spend a weekend in Bharatpur, you will be able to relive history. And if you are into nature, you will be aptly rewarded during the season time between October and February, where it plays host to a number of species of birds from across the globe. And Bharatpur has accommodation for all types of budgets. It's only about 2 hours from Agra and about 3 hours from Delhi. So if you are out on a weekend and visiting Agra, you would do well to add Bharatpur to your itinerary. And now it's time for me to jump back into my linea and drive back to Delhi. See you next week.